All right, so we're diving into the world of Paul Kwitek.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this guy's discography, it's insane. We're talking close to 100 releases. It's wild.
Yeah, Kwitek is something else, man. The first thing that struck me when I was doing the research for this, like, you could almost trace his life on a map just by listening to his music, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. Like that move from Lublin, Poland to Toronto. So
Exactly.
you can hear that whole journey.
It's all right there woven into the music.
Yeah.
And, he calls his style world electronic music, which could just be a label, but it's not, right? Because he was exposed to all these different sounds growing up, and then later on, he actually collaborates with world music artists.
Right. It's like authentically world music. It's
Exactly.
not just like a sample here or there.
It's really cool how he brings it all together.
Yeah. It's really fascinating how he takes these disparate elements and makes something so cohesive. But it's not just the global influences, right? It's how he uses them. It's like he's taking the sounds of the natural world, like field recordings of a rainforest or something, and turning them into these incredible electronic soundscapes.
Oh, totally. And you hear that especially on the Nature's Laboratory album.
Yeah, Nature's Laboratory. That's a good one.
That's where he really gets into that fusion of, like, organic sound and electronic manipulation.
And it's all improvised.
Yeah, which is incredible when you think about how intricate it is. Like, each track unfolds like this sonic experiment in real time.
There's a sense of controlled chaos, but it always works.
Totally.
And that collaborative spirit, it's not just him alone in a studio, which he probably is a lot of the time with 100 releases.
Yeah, right.
But he brings that energy to his live performances, too. The Lublin sessions is a great example of that.
Yeah, the Lublin sessions are amazing. You can tell he really thrives off that live energy, bringing different musicians together, bouncing ideas off each other. It reminds me, he used to be a radio host.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And even back then, he was all about seeking out those artists who are pushing boundaries, not just following trends.
Yeah, that genuine connection, it's something that's always been important to him. And, speaking of connection, we can't not talk about Sad Moon, the track he created with the late Wes.
Oh, man. Sad Moon it's incredibly moving.
It really is.
And it's even more poignant when you know the story behind it. Kwitek and Wes were really close, and they were actually collaborating on a book together. Sadly, it was never finished.
Wow. So we have this music, this collaboration, and it's like this little window into a much larger story that we'll never fully know. It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
Definitely.
And for someone who's been at it for so long with so many releases, it's remarkable how grounded Kwitek seems, He's not out there chasing algorithms or anything.
Yeah, and that really comes through, He's a firm believer in letting the music speak for itself, which is so refreshing, especially these days when it feels like everything is about hype.
Absolutely. And I think that kind of ties into what he said about the decline of traditional DJing, right? The difference between beat matching vinyl and using software.
Yeah, he's spoken about that quite a bit.
It's like this idea of craft and how technology changes things.
Right. And I think for someone like him who's so dedicated to his craft, it raises a really interesting question. How do artists stay true to their vision in an industry that's constantly changing? What do you think?
I think it's a tough balance, for sure. But, Kwitek seems to be navigating it pretty well. He's about to launch a tour for his new album, and he designed all the visuals himself, which is amazing.
Yeah, talk about a true artist, right?
Totally. This guy's got it going on.
If you're interested in checking out his music, and I highly recommend you do, you can find him on Spotify and Bandcamp. And as you listen, think about this. How do you balance staying true to your vision while also evolving and adapting in a constantly changing world? Whether you're a musician, an artist, or just trying to figure things out, it's a question we all grapple with.
Definitely. Food for thought. Thanks for diving into the world of Paul Kwitek with me. This was great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And for our listeners, until next time.